Step one, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Hi, Bullhorn Betty. Thank you for my shirt. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Kids Club.
And slid down so we can see a red suitcase right here for law enforcement if they're watching and you guys would like to come back here. Of her being out here. So this is what we're doing today. We will see you guys back here real soon.
Successful people aren't successful because everything went their way. They're successful because they figured out a way to navigate through the shit, right? Life is not all easy. You're gonna have shitty things happen to you. And I'm not speaking this over you, I just know from life experience, right? People are gonna get sick, people are gonna die, people are gonna get divorced, people are gonna be financially in ruin. Stressful things are gonna happen. If you don't know how to navigate those things, if you can't figure out how to navigate those things and get to your outcomes anyway, life is gonna be really fucking tough. And it gets bad because then you get into your late 30s and early 40s and we're talking and you become the woulda, shoulda, coulda guy.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Good Sunday mid-morning to my beautiful people of YouTube. I hope you guys are having an amazing Sunday. If you guys didn't get a chance to join us for our Sunday service, it was amazing as always. Great music, great messaging. It just really sets the tone for the rest of our week. So I hope you guys have an opportunity, if you haven't, if you're home one Sunday and you want to be inspired, maybe swing by and check us out. So we all go there about 9:20 in the morning, and it's nice being there with friendly names, right? So faces and names that we see, and we can worship together. So it was just really, really, really amazing. So Mac J, good morning. Good morning. The first to say good morning to Bullhorn Betty and chat. And of course, as always, our shout out to our lovely mods that make the Bullhorn Betty chat flow and be as easy and breezy as it is. Without them, it would be Armageddon, right? We all know that. So we thank all of our beautiful mods that are in here today. Give them a shout out. It's me, Jen. Good morning. Mike, it's nice to see you in here. Sonia, Mac J, TD, we love you. Bray, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Maddie Down is here. Lady 7 Up, the real me too. Good morning. Big boy is up in the house. Good morning. Good morning. Gigi for life. Who else do we have? Hippie Richard, which brings me to the next point. And I'm not picking on you. I promise I'm not. But your name goes right into the rules of the chat. For all those people that are new to the Bullhorn Betty channel, the only rule in the chat is don't be a dick. Okay? If you can't follow that simple rule, we ask you just to kindly leave. It's Sunday. You know, we're here to learn about some stuff and enjoy ourselves with the company of one another. So that wasn't intended for you, hippie. Okay, I'm sorry, you just happen to have a name that rolls into the chat. Sorry, he's probably new to the chat and saying, "Man, why am I getting picked on over here? Why am I getting picked on over here?" It happens. You're on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Mama Llama is up in the house. Good morning, Unicorn, Indiana. Unicorn, I think we're getting on the right track. Bullhorn Betty, my theory did not hold water. It just didn't. It was so disappointing, but I'm glad we finally know what happened. This is, we're going to get into it. We're not there yet. I know. Bullhorn Betty, don't be giving us the spoiler alert yet. Pookie's Grammy, it's nice to have you here. Good morning. And we'll be going into the afternoon. Hopefully I remember to start saying afternoon halfway through the show. It's nice to see you all here. Let me see if I missed anybody. TL, I am Team Summer. Nice to see you, love. And I think we got just about everybody. I'm trying. Koosh, it's nice to see you. Laura Dawn, good morning. Barbara, good morning. Kat McLeod, good morning. Just Debbie, good morning. Good morning. Yeah, it's the freshly showered look. I didn't even do my hair. I'm letting it dry. Like it's still in the process of drying. It's still got some, like the whole back of the head's still wet, but it's okay. It's okay. It's drying. When it dries, I'll straighten it and do something with this mop on my head. So guys, we're going to have to go back, okay? We're going to have to go back to Mama Bullhorn's conversation yesterday morning when she called in. We have to go back to it because I was intensely watching. Like I wanted to fast forward through this because they had it on their website, but it's like you have to watch every 15 minutes you have to watch like 4 minutes of commercials. It really sucks. There's no way around it because they haven't posted it on YouTube yet, right? So I'm there and I'm like, should I just fast forward and just watch the commercials and just go to the end to find out what happened? Right. But I didn't. I actually watched every little bit of it. I have to tell you, it was, I dropped the link in here for all of you guys to go watch it. It's season 36, episode 13. And it just covered a lot of the Stephen Smith case. The second autopsy was a success. It was a success. They brought in information that they had learned through the case. So I think we have the person, identified as what happened. I can't imagine the grief that they, the people had went through, but not to come forward for 8 years. Letting a mother go through all of this, even in light of this being a terrible accident. One that could have been prevented, by the way. One that could have been prevented. Absolutely prevented. This is a combination of drinking and driving. And a boy is no longer. I assume that that's what we're going to find out based upon the 48-hour segment. Okay. So I'm glad his mother is getting justice. I'm glad his mother finally has an idea of what happened. I'm still very disappointed in the person that was driving the vehicle because it shouldn't have come to this. Sometimes in life, we as adults make terrible decisions, okay? We aren't thinking clearly, whether we just do something stupid, okay? We're none of us are immune to stupidity, okay? Let's be honest. Every person that's in my chat, I have 101 beautiful souls sitting in my chat watching me right now. And I guarantee every last one of us has made a terrible decision in our life, okay? I'm sorry, I don't believe in perfection, so you perfection junkies over there, I'm not going to believe that you never made a mistake in your life. Okay. I'm just not going to do it. Okay. I'm sorry. Call me crazy. I'm not going to believe you. Okay. Everybody's done something stupid. Okay. We've done stupid stuff in our life. Okay. Most of us don't. When we make stupid decisions, most of the time, somebody doesn't lose their life because of a stupid decision. So we're fortunate. But don't sit there and say that we have never made poor decisions that could have hurt somebody, that the situation just slightly different. I know I've got a story or two to say myself, in all honesty, right? So I feel bad. We all have to take responsibility for our poor decisions, and I just keep thinking about this poor mother suffering. And I just want you to understand how much she suffered, even though her and her husband were split apart. Her ex-husband, the father of Stephen, he died shortly after. The family, what about Stephen's, siblings? I know he's got a sister. I don't know if he has another sibling other than a sister, but I'll just throw that out there. They suffered for 8 years because somebody wanted to keep their mouth shut. And I can understand that they were probably scared and the case kind of went away and they had a little bit of comfort. But think of how that's going to appear now that this investigation is going to lead to a responsible party. When this goes to court, how do you think the jury's going to feel? I have to be honest with you, hearing the details of this and knowing the 8 years and nobody said a thing, none of his friends that knew, let a mother suffer agony that you'll never, ever understand. And I don't know how I feel about that personally in a sense of a jury, but I have to think that that's going to be looking very poorly upon the individual or individuals that will be held responsible for Stephen Smith's untimely demise. After reading the autopsy, as we started a few days ago going down this road again, we were kind of looking at it with fresh eyes. And as I was saying, one of the beginning things was I pray to God that he didn't suffer. I pray to God that it was, instantaneous, so to speak. And then I paid close attention to the crime scene photos out there on the road, paid very close attention to the positioning of the body and the amount of blood out there. And that's when I realized that he was out there. And it does appear that he had suffered because of the amount of blood that kind of moved down to the road and to the side of him. And so I looked at the autopsy to see if that was accurate. And when I saw that there was blood and froth in his lungs, I realized that, it wasn't quick. And I don't know how long it would have taken, but it's just sad that he was left out there in that condition by anybody. And then when we learned that the person that may be responsible for this actually drove by the next day to confirm that he hit a deer and saw the crime scene stuff up, he had an opportunity right then and there to take responsibility for his actions. He would have gotten court leniency. And now we're dealing with all this 8 years later. And it took just an act of God to get this case closed, because everybody screwed this entire case up from the very beginning. Let's be honest. I'm looking at this stuff and it is a hot mess. I am not going to sit here and deceive my audience and say that this was a good investigation. It took 2 people being murdered at the Moselle property to get this poor boy a decent investigation and justice. So as you can imagine, this whole entire case, even yesterday, we try to have fun with some stuff and we try to liven it up because it is heartbreaking. We feel pain for these families. We're human beings and we have emotions, and I get that. But, this is the serious part of it, where we have to talk about the reality. And the reality is this poor boy went without justice because law enforcement wouldn't do their damn job. And there was one beautiful officer that would not take no for an answer. And demanded the professionals that were writing these reports to give him answers and make sense to him. And God bless the law enforcement like that. He knew it stunk to high heaven. He was not comfortable with it. Yes, it ends up being an accident. But what about the investigation that was supposed to ensue that didn't? That went cold in 2016 because nobody wanted to do their damn job. And I'm not talking about to the officers and the people that did their damn job, but they were few and far between. And so here we are. But I do want to say, we went through the murder aspect, the hate crime aspect. We went through the accident. I personally thought that he fell out of a truck. Makes sense. Well, it looks like, and I'm going to disagree with Ken Kinsey on one thing and one thing only, and it's only because I've seen an impact of a ladder. And so I definitely think it is more in line. Well, I don't want to break it. For the people that watched, they know what I'm about to get into. The people that didn't, we're going to turn this over to yesterday's Bullhorn Betty channel. Well, we're going to turn it over to Mama Bullhorn, and we're going to let Mama Bullhorn have the floor, because even though I disagreed with her at the time, because I'm like, oh, well, wouldn't that leave a pattern? I looked into it, and it's so hard not to say something. Let's turn it over to Mama Bullhorn. Let's turn it over to Mama Bullhorn. Let's listen to what Mama Bullhorn has to say. So everybody's up to snuff. Everybody's up to snuff with what Mama Bullhorn, and then we'll discuss the findings of the 48 hours programming. I know it's so hard. Like, I just want to just jump into it. I just, you know what it is? It's because I haven't relaxed myself. I haven't done my Pink Panther. Okay, now I'm calm. Now I'm not ready to rush through it. Wow. Chill, Betty. Chill. By the way, Mom. Good morning. Sorry. Good morning. Who are you, and where are you calling from?
This is Mama Bullhorn, and I'm calling from home.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry for being so rude to you. Now, what would you like? What would you like to include?
Well, it's occipital, which is the back of the head.
Occipital. Thank you.
Mom's always got to teach us a lesson, don't they?
It felt like
Occipital.
occupational, and it's occipital. Occipital. Thank you.
And it's the back of the head near the edge of the skull.
Mm-hmm.
And you have lines throughout your skull from birth. And when you see a skull, you see those little meshed seams. I want to call them seams. They look like your bone is stitched together.
Uh-huh.
He had an occipital fracture all the way across from ear to ear. And then it followed up over his ear and around to the front of his forehead.
Mm.
Now, I'm thinking, because of my past history, he had a coup versus a contra coup injury. Let me explain to that. Your brain is like a bowl of jelly.
Mm-hmm.
And if you hit it from one, like the back side, all the jelly goes to the front side. If you hit from the front, all the jelly goes to the back of the brain. I think he suffered a coup injury. The reason I say that is the biggest fracture he had was on the front side of his head.
So what would cause that coup injury?
A blow. People get it from being rear-ended. They get a contra coup. You can get a contra coup injury, like myself, hitting a windshield, or bouncing back and hitting the headrest. A coup. I suffered a coup injury with a fracture. That's why I was blind.
Okay. Let me ask you this. You're saying a blow, and I keep hearing this blow to the head. Do you think this is, and I didn't talk to you about this before because I keep forgetting I keep forgetting you've been in the medical field. What do you think about my new theory? Does it hold water?
Yes.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up. Sorry. Repeat that.
I was last night, and it occurred to me he could have been in the back of the pickup truck and somebody just shoved him out, or he could have been on the side step holding onto a mirror catching a ride. You know how you step on the side of a pickup truck? And
that was her answer based upon my. I didn't think about that theory either. I was thinking, and we've done that. We did that out in Mayaca a couple times.
Yes.
I didn't even think about that. So just literally catching a ride.
Somebody could have slammed on the brakes and bam, he went down. Something on the back of the truck. If he was standing on the truck, okay. If you're standing in the back of the truck, face.
I want to make sure that I clarify. She's answering the question that I asked her, whether my theory holds water. So she's answering that question, but that's not her theory. Her theory is going to be coming up in just a second. So stay tuned. Listen, I think, and I was floored when I heard Ken Kinsey say the exact same thing. Absolutely floored. So stay tuned.
Forward, okay, and the wind in the face, slammed on brakes. And one, he could have gone over the hood of the car, or two, he had gone out the side of the car. It doesn't matter.
Well, I was also thinking about, now you're putting another theory in. What if he was trying to get into the truck and the guy just accidentally gunned it? Or, maybe going to that hate crime where he was, he saw him, knew him, and offered him a ride. And right when he was about to get in, he guns it, and the kid falls. I mean, it's, I don't know. I just feel like he wasn't on the pavement when he got these injuries. I just feel like his body was off the ground prior to these injuries.
Okay, I still say, if they didn't find broken mirror or paint fragments, and a stainless steel truck mirror isn't going to leave paint fragments.
Boom. A truck mirror, a metal truck mirror is not going to leave fragments. And my response to that, to my mother yesterday, but wouldn't it leave an impression? Because they said there was no impression left on his skull. And, she tossed back, but I looked at it. A metal mirror is wide enough that it wouldn't leave an indentation on someone's skull. So that, my friends, is what they believe happened to Stephen Smith. And there was a guy that came back to the scene the next day. We had heard about it, but we disregarded it because everybody had disregarded it. And it was this story of this man driving down the road, and he thought he hit a deer. And when he went back the next day, he saw law enforcement there with Stephen Smith, and Stephen Smith being in there. But because Stephen Smith did not have any injuries consistent with being hit by a car, at least through his body, that was dismissed because there was no evidence that he was struck by a car. But now there's evidence that he was struck probably by something on the car. And that mirror would have probably been, I still can't accept the sheer force of the hit to the right side with the shoulder dislocation. But I trust Ken Kinsey's professionalism and his expertise. And he believes that, all the experts believe that Stephen Smith passed away right there where in the road where they found him. They believe that whatever happened to him happened at that spot due to the amount of blood, which again, the amount of blood is the factor that lets us know, was it an instant death or a death that took a little longer. And I was hoping for very quick. It wasn't. It doesn't seem to be so. I don't know how long after he was struck that he expired, but it's sad because if somebody would have stopped and rendered aid, could he have been saved? It's possible because we went over these head fractures before. We went over these head fractures, and a lot of people survive linear skull fractures. Would he have been the same? We don't know. He was never provided the opportunity. We will never, ever know. And, but the other thing, the one thing I don't agree with Ken Kinsey, and this is something I do have experience with, and I do because I've been in the electrical field. I was in the electrical field for many years. The ladder theory. He said it was something hard coming off the car, either a mirror or a ladder or something like that. Unfortunately, the ladder theory, unless it was like the wide leg, but even that, I'd have to think you're going to have a good impression of a ladder. I've been hit in the face with ladders, not intentionally. It's just part of the job. Somebody's got the ladder on the shoulder. When you're on a job site, you need to learn how to duck, bob, and weave, because when somebody turns around, they don't know you're there. You can get knocked the what out. So it's I've had experience of seeing injuries from a ladder, and that's not going 20, 30, 40 miles an hour either. It is literally it's just walking or turning, and you get smacked. It leaves a very noticeable impression on you, and especially the feet of a ladder. Very noticeable impression. Doesn't matter which kind of ladder you got. Ladder feet, I mean, even the extension ladders, they have a very specific design to it. And I would feel like the impressions of the ladder side, any portion of the ladder would have left some type of pattern on him for a ladder. So the ladder's out for me, just because I'm very knowledgeable about ladder injuries, not ladder injuries at that speed. Maybe it has a difference, but those bars on the ladders are not very big. It would have left a noticeable, I would think a pattern, at least if not on the skull, it would at least have left a pattern on the forehead. So, but there were some gashes. They did identify gashes on his forehead, and maybe the gashes are consistent with the two lines of a extension ladder, because it says gashes, which imply plural. I can't see those photos of, nor do I really want to, but I can't see those. I can only see the ones while he's on the road. So Mama Bullhorn, she must have a crystal ball when it comes to, I was surprised. My mouth fell open when he said mirror, and I kind of was like, mine didn't hold water, but Mama Bullhorn's did. I have to tell, I wanted to cry. No, I'm just joking. I didn't give me the smallest violin. There you go, Ma. There you go. We want to give Mama Bullhorn an applause. Give it just a second. I'm going to open the phone lines, Ma. Chill out. Calm down. Calm down, little lady. Just calm down. I'll be opening up the phone lines. So what do you think about Mama Bullhorn's revelation that it is possible for, I want to say contra coup, or coup? I can't remember. I'm all confused. I'm not, whatever it was. She said that she thought what would not cause that impression. And she said you probably wouldn't, and I didn't believe it. I tell you, you asked me, I did not believe it. Did not believe that it wouldn't leave an impression. But you know what? If Ken Kinsey says that it could, well, I'm sorry, but he's smarter than Bullhorn Betty, right? I mean, I am smarter than a fifth grader, but I'm not smarter than Ken Kinsey. All right. I know my role. Mama, the phones are open. I want to hear from Mama Bullhorn. Yay! Great job, Ma. Great job, by the way. So we'll wait for her to get up. But I just thought it was all right, Ma. Well, I guess the master schooled the student.
Well, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I work for a neurosurgeon. What can I say? Contra versus contra coup injuries. Now,
you can explain it until the cows come home, Mama. I'm not. As soon as this conversation is over, I'm not going to remember. I don't want to remember.
Is a severe blow to the frontal, your forehead.
Okay, so contra is front.
No, coup is front.
And
your
contra coup is
very
back
in the front, and it causes your brain to stretch to the back of the head. But in this case, Stephen was 19 years old. His bones, your bones don't really solidify until your mid-20s to close to 30. Okay, they're still movable. I believe, this is what I was trying to say yesterday. I believe that he was hit by something from the front. Now, not directly on the head. He could have been hit by a truck mirror, say in the chin or the chest area, enough to push him very hard down. Okay.
Was it, do you think, let me ask you this, and this is just, I know we can't, we'll find out more when everything comes out. Do you think it was the impact of the hit on the ground that caused both of the lateral fractures, or do you think that the mirror caused the frontal lateral fracture and the hit on the ground caused the posterior?
The frontal hit was what caused him to hit the ground. And when his head hit the ground, it was like a watermelon.
Mm-hmm.
The contra coup of hitting the ground, the pressure was much greater than the coup part, or the original push down.
Mm-hmm.
And once he hit that head on the pavement, it was like a watermelon.
Gotcha.
Effect. It cracked.
That's what I was thinking.
And that is the brainstem. The brainstem, when you have a brainstem injury,
Mm-hmm.
it's complete paralysis.
Yeah.
Complete. You can't breathe. You can't move. You are basically going to die a very slow death.
Yeah, and I actually talked to one of my law enforcement friends, and they said that he said that it was great in theory, but I was missing one thing. And I said, what? He's like, from a moving vehicle, if you tumbled out, you were more likely to hit more of the top of your head. I wonder if that's true. That's what I was told. I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, I disagree. If you're on the sideboard
Mm-hmm.
and somebody hits the brakes real hard, you're going down. But this had a contra coup. A coup versus contra coup.
Mm-hmm.
And my other theory is, and I've seen this happen, when his head hit the original injury to the front portion of the skull,
Mm-hmm.
the circular fracture, the crescent fracture, when he hit the pavement so hard, you have to understand, he was 6 feet tall, and he hit his head directly. That pressure for the brain going forward probably pushed the indentation back out.
Oh, well.
Okay.
All right.
So
I appreciate it. But you know what he said, but Ken Kinsey also referenced maybe a ladder. And I'm just saying that I've seen ladder injuries that were slow-mo, and they were definitely ladder injuries. You couldn't mistake a whack of a ladder.
OMG, one time, it was way back when you were in elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
I was, or daycare, and I was going back to work from my lunch hour, and I was behind this truck, and they did not have the ladder tied down.
Mm-hmm.
And they hit their brakes real hard because it was a red light.
Oof.
And the ladder switched around to the right side, and there was this little boy biking on the sidewalk, and it knocked.
Oh my God. I'm not laughing at the little boy. I'm thinking that whole story just brought that time that Vince lost all three of his.
I got on my horn, and the guy proceeded through the light.
Mm-hmm.
But when he got to the other side, he stopped because I was out of my car taking care of that baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember the girl that slipped and fell by the pool too when we were kids at Fort Myers. But anyways, don't want to get too far off topic. All right, I'll see you later, Mom. I love you.
Okey-dokey. I love you. I love everyone. Have a good day.
Bye-bye. All right, Mama Bullhorn. I'll leave the phones open if you guys want to call in. If you don't, it's okay. Because to be honest with you, that's really all I wanted to say. You guys need to go watch that. If you have not watched 48 Hours last night, I thought it was done well. I thought it captured a lot of the emotion of the case. I really did. I felt that it kind of walked you through it, from the fight. But again, my problem is how can somebody in that community watch that woman suffer for 8 years when they held the key to the truth? Why did it have to come to this before somebody? And it's not even that the person has even come forward to take responsibility. They're going to have to be brought to justice. And that's, to me, if you didn't mean to do it, then we shouldn't be here 8 years later. In my opinion, it upsets me. It breaks my heart. Like, I'm looking at this woman. I watched, I've never met her. I've never got a chance to hug her. Maybe one day I will. But I've never met his mother. I've never spoken to his mother. I don't think a human being needs to speak to know what this poor woman has gone through. And that whole entire community watched her suffer. And there are people, and if there's 5 people that know information, believe me, there's a handful more that do as well. Because let's face it, people suck at keeping secrets. So some more people knew, and nobody came forward. And maybe some people did come forward. Nobody took them seriously. It doesn't matter how you look at this. This case was flawed from out the gate. There were a lot of unknowns. The information that was going to them was tucked away. I would like to know the man that was in that truck that's responsible for this, the person that was driving, what his connections are to the Murdaughs, because I have to think, this is just, again, this is a theory. Does not hold water, but it makes me wonder, because Randolph was out there. Randolph also, is this an elitist friend of theirs, and this is their kid? I want to know, and I think we should ask those questions, because why was Randolph out there? Why was the Murdaugh name brought up so many times in this case? There is a reason, because there's some type of connection either with the victim or with the people that are responsible for the result of the victim. Are we going to find out that the man that's responsible for this is, an attorney or a politician or associated with one? I always have to look at that angle, because something just doesn't make sense. And why 8 years? Why did it come to being forced to find out the truth without somebody just saying, hey, I made a terrible, terrible mistake, and just seek the mercy of the court? I promise you, the courts would have been much, much kinder to you than I believe that they're going to be when you're truly brought to justice 8 years later and trying to scream that it was an accident. Well, was it an accident that you kept your lips sealed for 8 months, or was that intentional? Just asking for a few friends. Because it's awfully suspect to me that Randolph was out there. When you guys go to watch that segment, you will hear they never asked them for help. Nobody called them for help. Nobody asked them to investigate this case. The family surely did not, according to the mother. But they were there, and they were willing to lend a hand. At the time, she was probably grateful and appreciative. As you can imagine, a mother finding out that her son is no longer going to come walk through her front door. It's just very sad, very sad. There's no winners here. There's at least one young man that's probably, maybe he's not young, maybe he's older. I don't know who it is. There's definitely somebody that's life's about to change as well. And again, when you guys make mistakes, sometimes, as hard and as difficult as it is, and it is difficult, but it comes to integrity and the character of a person, in my opinion, scared or not scared. If you do something wrong, take ownership of it, take responsibility of it, and do the right thing, especially when it's another human being. That had to have been difficult for that person. I'm sure he did not intend to cause this. It was just a stupid, poor decision, and why we have certain laws in this country that we do to prevent people from doing and making those poor decisions of getting behind the wheel under the influence of alcohol. I've done it. I'm guilty of it. I've been arrested twice for it. Many years ago, by the way. I just want to make sure you guys know that. 2007 and 2011. It's been quite a while. Okay? But I did it. But for the grace of God, there go I. I never killed anybody. But I was behind the wheel of a vehicle under the influence of alcohol. Could it have happened? It absolutely could. My life could have been different had something else happened. So I'm speaking from experience, and I'm still very, very much disappointed. I would like to think that the better part of me, if something like this happened, would have taken responsibility, would have gotten an attorney and turned myself into law enforcement long time ago. Because even in all my craziness, I took ownership. My mom can tell you, even from a young age, I took ownership for my decisions. As poor as they were, and as much of a troublemaker as I was, she would try to blame somebody else. You know, if you just quit hanging out with them, that you wouldn't be back. Mom, have you ever thought it's just me? Have you ever thought that I'm the problem? I mean, you could ask my mom. There's been times I've said that to her in my adolescent years. So, you know, I feel like me and who I am as a person, you know, I feel like I would have taken ownership or responsibility. But again, you know, it has to be pretty scary when you know a life has been lost, right? The fear that comes over you. But I don't know if I could sit in the same community and watch a mother suffer needlessly, desperate for answers for all these years, and just keep my mouth shut. I'm sorry. An accident's an accident. I get it. But I think as the public and as the community, need to look at this person's actions after this happened. And let me tell you, his actions were unsavory, in my opinion. He had every opportunity to come forward, and he chose to stay silent. So I'm not giving anybody a free pass. I hope that the courts look at that angle as well, because that's the part that makes me so angry. Is this know that a mother suffered all this time, begging everyone and anyone for answers. And you know, she knew who the person is. Nobody told her jack. Nobody told her jack. Shame on the people that knew. And I'm just going to say it like that. People can beat me up, clip it. I don't care. Pass it around, because I'd like whoever's responsible for this to know, you know, how dare you? How dare you? And I hope you're judged. I hope you're judged on your behavior. I really do. We all have to stand up and be judged on our behavior. I've had to do it. It's not an easy task to do. I'm thankful that, again, I didn't take a life. But don't think, you know, I was lucky. I don't roll that dice anymore. Ever. So I don't know what else to say, guys. There's the information. It looks like it might have been a mirror that explains the impact to the right side of his body. So I would think that the mirror potentially, or something hanging off the vehicle that would not, it would have to be something wide. It's not going to be something thin that could leave an impression mark. So I think Mama Bullhorn and Ken Kinsey are right. Who knew? Just a truck's mirror driving by and didn't see him, and he heard something hit. And when he went back, he thought it was a deer, but he wanted to be sure. To me, I feel like he must have, and this is just reality, the psychology of it. If you truly thought you just hit a deer, would you have really gone back to check to see if you hit a deer? Hey, Boucher, it's nice to see you. You know what I'm saying? Like, would you have really gone, like, if I hit an animal in the road, I'm not going to wake up the next morning and say, you know, was it really an animal? Could it have been something else? Let me go check and see if it was, you know, I would know it was an animal. So to me, that tells me already in the backside of his head, he knew he did not hit an animal. Because again, I've had the experience of hitting an animal and it ended up being my cat, cost me $1,000 to save the poor cat's life. But, you know, I hit an animal, and I'm telling you, it was very noticeable. Very noticeable. The car went boom, boom, boom. Like it was noticeable. Like it was noticeable, right? So I can't imagine. Now, granted, it's just a mirror, but he had to have thought, if his mirror is tall enough to hit this man in his forehead or in his face, because that's where all the damage was, his truck is up pretty high. And if his truck is up pretty high, then what the hell did he think he hit? Like, you know, I don't know, go-go gadget deer? Something that grew like 2 feet? I just feel like he knew. I don't see a normal person saying, "Oh, I hit an animal. Let me go check and see the animal I hit." That's just psychologically, it seems like he was concerned that he may not have hit a deer, and he went back to check to make sure he did. That's what I think happened. So, anyways, that's my 2 cents. Don't spend it all in one spot. And don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Good day, guys. Be nice. But listen, before I go, be nice. Be nice to everybody. But before I go, we're going to be kicking off our new channel. The channel that I started building. We got it almost to 1,000 people. We're going to be starting to throw some lives on there. I got to build up the viewership on there. I've got an idea about that channel. It's going to be fun. It's not going to be like any kind of like second channel to pick on anybody, but I don't think we're going to use it for true crime. So if you're interested in finding out what we're going to do with the channel, you need to go sub it up. And we are going to start next week. We're going to start doing a lunchtime live on the other channel. There it is, a lunchtime live. So now we're going to have a 6:30 morning, a 6:30 evening, and an off-topic subject that doesn't have really a whole lot to do with true crime. We'll cover true crime in there. I know you guys can't stop talking about true crime, so we'll have some true crime stuff in there. We'll make it work. And we're going to be doing something creative on that channel. So I hope that you guys decide to sub it up. If there's videos in there, go watch them. Help build up the watch time in there so we can get that account monetized. Because as we're rolling in, there's some fun. We're gonna do something fun with it, and I think you guys might. I think you guys might like it. You might not, right? You might say, "Betty, you've lost your ever-loving mind. We're leaving you. We're divorcing Bullhorn Betty." You might just do that. I don't know. I may be bombing. I don't know, but I have this vision, and it's based upon some of the comments that my audience has left me in chat and in the message boxes. So if you guys are interested, go over there and sub it up. I think you guys will enjoy it. Some people won't. Some people just won't. But there's just some people out there that just can't stand Bullhorn Betty, but they watch me every day. There's for you, babies. All those closet lovers that act like haters. Aww. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, I'm done. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be kind. Please be safe and kind to one another, especially the comment box below. Please don't forget, you never know what type of day somebody's having, so you could literally make or break them. So use that wisely and kindly. God bless.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.